this is the thing I want to do. So I'm just going to go all in. And it doesn't matter, man. It does not matter if you win, lose, sink, swim, any of it. As long as you get out there and you get to do the thing that you want to do. And it was an amazing experience. Even if I had not won that, to have been nominated, and that sounds so funny. Sounds like an Oscar or a Grammy speech, right? It's a thrill just to be nominated, but it really was. You know, these were my peers in Nashville who were nominating me too. So there's that part of it. And I think that energy, you want to bring that energy, and that energy can be contagious. And as long as you're doing that, first of all, you're fulfilling whatever needs for yourself so that you're actually getting out there and doing the thing that you want to do and doing it completely, you know. And sometimes, you know, your world has to get a little shaken up for you to decide that you can do this. We'll go back to the conversation about, like, family and work, other people not being as supportive. And sometimes, you know, people have to kind of shake you up with their criticism or with telling you, you know, if you're going to be a pretty girl on wine bottles in California, which we never see out here in Nashville, then you can't work with us, which is silly. But, you know, you kind of have to face those things so that you can go, you know what, why am I holding back? Why am I not telling people about what I do? Why am I cloaking this at all? Why don't I just, okay, go ahead and put 1,000% of myself into it? Not going to hold back anymore. And the reward from that is the most amazing experience in life anyhow. I think that anybody who is out there thinking, I really want to do this. I want to be a writer. I want to write a book. I want to get a book published. I don't know how to do it. Dude, I did not know how to do this stuff when I started doing it, right? I didn't know how to, like, who I needed to network with, what I needed to do to become commercially successful at any of this. But I figured it out as I went along. And yeah, I made some mistakes here and there, but those mistakes helped me along the path. And facing some of these, you know, critics, whether just people who weren't supportive, and kind of letting them have their opinions and, you know, then deciding to set that aside in your own personal life so that you can focus on what you still want to do, regardless of the critics. I think that's the best way to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at just basic empowerment at any level, like when I was an actor in Los Angeles, I mean, I've said this many times, if I'm on a film set, by God, I'm an actor. So I didn't have any doubts. You hired me. I'm in this movie. I'm an actor, by God. I'm a professional. You know, whatever you're paying me, I'm a professional actor. I'm in Hollywood. There's no doubt. And so when you look at any way of being successful, a lot of that is believing that you belong there, right? So I didn't know anything. You know, I didn't know what I was doing half the time. I watched what I was doing. Same thing when I was a corporate executive. I didn't know, but I figured out, you know, that was my skill, was I had this certain kind of belief that I would figure it out before you figured out I didn't know what I was doing. And I just kept going along with it. And I think that what you're talking about, Shannon, is something, those are skills and processes that people can use for anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. They can be used to get advance in anything. Before we get too much further along, though, I want to talk a little bit about what you have going on this weekend. And for people who want to know more about you, if they want to contact you or they want to know how they can do this either in Nashville or someplace else, what's the best way, Shannon, for people to find you online, and what's the best way for them to contact you?
Okay, well, the best way to find me online is really just to find me through Facebook. I have a person page, which is Shannon Million. I also have an entertainer page, which is Shannon Million, The Rock and Pinup. And then I also have the Burlesque Off-Broadway page. I do have a ShannonMillion.com, but it's not active. I need a new web designer if anybody out there wants to help me with that. But you can get a hold of me through Facebook is definitely the easiest way. I'm also Shannon Million on everything else, Instagram, Twitter, all of the social media. So I actually was lucky enough to get that name. So that's the best way to find me. What was the other part of the question? Oh,
what's going on this weekend? Yeah, I know you have so specifically, because I've been to these events. I like going to these events. So I know I'm not the only one. If they went, they want to keep going. So, and I was going to go, and I just got, my mom broke her pelvic bone, so I'm stuck on Ohio for the time being. So, so tell me, and other people listening in, what you have going on this weekend, where that's going to be held, and how they can get there.
All right. Well, so the things that are happening in Nashville this weekend, and there are a couple of things that I'm doing. One is, of course, I have a burlesque show that's happening. It is called Stupid Cupid, and it is happening at Mad Donna's Loft in East Nashville. That's 1313 Woodland, and it's on Friday the 13th. So there's a lot of 13s there. Just focus on your 13th, and you'll find it. And that's going to be a great show. It'll have all my fire performers, hoop artists, my aerialists, my burlesque dancers, and it's just going to be a fun show. We're going to do, half of the theme is going to be people dancing to I Hate Love songs, and then half of it is going to be dancing to, like, we love to be loved kind of songs. So, whether you love or hate Valentine's Day, it's going to be a fun show. And then the next day, that show, actually on the 13th, is the Packet Pickup Party for a fundraiser event that we're doing the next day. It's a fun run of sorts. It's with the Children's Tumor Foundation, and the event is called the Cupid Undie Run. Now, this is an interesting event that actually happens in several cities all across the United States on Valentine's Day. And ours is a 1 mile fun run that starts in downtown Nashville. We all meet up at Tequila Cowboy, and everybody's going to be dressed in, like, their underwear. And it's the middle of stinking winter, but we are going to have a few drinks at Tequila Cowboy, and then we are going to take the run down Broadway, up 2nd Avenue, back down 2nd Avenue, back up Broadway to Tequila Cowboy, and party some more. Now, what we're doing is we're raising money, and obviously we are doing something ridiculous to bring as much awareness to the need to put an end to neurofibromatosis, which is a condition that affects thousands of births every year in the United States. And really want to be able to help out the kids that are affected by this. So we're raising money and asking people to donate to the runners. And I'm one of the runners. Right now my team has raised, I don't know, I think we've raised a little over $1,000, but they always say that the week of the race, which this is the week of the race, is when the most donations come in. So we're hoping to raise a whole lot of money for the Children's Tumor Foundation. I think that the city of Nashville has raised somewhere in the neighborhood of like $30,000 before this week even got started. So I'm interested to see how it shakes out and how much money we actually raise. But all across the country, we're going to be probably raising, I hope that we raise $500,000 would be great. We'll see what happens.
Oh, that's fantastic. And as somebody who's lived in Nashville, when I think of second, I think of river, I think of cold. So I'm just throwing
yeah.
You also, because I know this firsthand, have been in a film recently. What's happening with that? Where is that film in terms of production and release?
Okay.
Are you done filming that now?
I think that I'm done filming because I say that I think I'm done because the film is called Race with the Devil, and it's a really cool movie. If you like movies about race cars, about hot rods, and if you like the concept of kind of like Crossroads, somebody makes a deal with the devil and they could lose their soul, and that's what this is about. And it's about like this hero who has to kind of go up against the devil because somebody in the town has lost their bet against the devil, and the devil's about to come take this guy's soul from him. But there's a hero of the town who challenges the devil, and the devil, is always tempted by a good challenge. And And so in the movie, I actually have two different roles, but one of them is I'm the leader of the Hellbell Betties, which they are this troupe of girls that kind of follow around this crazy devil character. And I also play the She-Devil. Now, I think that I'm done filming because I'm pretty sure, even though it was in a dream sequence, the She-Devil was killed. I hate to throw the spoiler out there, but I think that my character is dead. But it was in a dream sequence, so who knows? Maybe they could it was a dream sequence in hell, so I could potentially come back. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. I would love to come back as the She-Devil. It's been probably one of the most fun and interesting things I've ever done. And the individuals who have put it together, they took it to Comic-Con in California this year, and it was picked up by DreamWorks Horror Flicks for distribution. And DreamWorks Horror Flicks actually had they had a little bit of vision. They wanted us to do some more filming. So we did do additional filming, as you're aware, because I think you were in town. Yeah, you were definitely in town when we did some of that filming. And but there's a second piece that goes to this film. So they also made a documentary to go with this film. And the reason that they did that was to kind of show a little bit about the real lives of the actors in the film. So that, it's an interesting story because most of these people are really into custom culture, which is all things rockabilly, pinup, burlesque, classic cars. Like the people here the majority of them that were in this film really kind of live this lifestyle that we're portraying in the film. So once they figured that out, they thought, there's a really cool backstory here. But we also have an amazing pinup model friend of ours who went missing this last year and who has not been found, and her name is Nikki Burgess. And the makers of the film knew that she was into all things custom culture, and they wanted to kind of focus not only on the backstory of all the individuals that were in the film, but also on the things that Nikki was inspired by about custom culture. And they wanted to showcase all of those things and dedicate the documentary to Nikki. So that's the film that I've been in. I've also done several, music videos, and I'm getting ready to go back out to Vegas to do my gig at Viva Las Vegas, the biggest rockabilly party in the world. I'm going to take my girl Bonnie Valentine out there with me. I always take her, and we'll be out there. We'll also walk the runway at the fashion show that we do out there, and it's just, the biggest rockabilly party in the world. What can I say about that? It's 1940s, 1950s music and beauty and cars and fun. Just super fun. And so we've got all that going on, and then I've got some performances that I've got to do in a couple of different cities and towns, and then we'll start our summer series.
So Shannon, where are you going to be? Do you know?
So one of the big things that I do every year is the Petersville Car Show. So the car show season is going to start to heat up in spring and summer. And the really cool thing about pinup models is that we go to a lot of these car shows. You've got these amazing classic cars that you can go and take pictures of and with them. And so that experience ends up being really interesting. But the Petersville Car Show in Louisville is one of the first ones that's really kind of a big one that everybody goes to. And it, 2 years ago, they started doing a pre-party the night before the car show. And they invited me to come to Petersville and bring some of my girls with me. And so there are bands that perform, and then there's burlesque performances. So we'll be performing at that and a couple of other places. But that's going to be the big one that we know we're all going to drag ourselves out to together and just put on a great show and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I ask is I actually now have to go to L.A. I actually have a modeling job, as crazy as that must sound to you.
I saw that on Facebook. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it's for Deck. The guy's a filmmaker, so he probably wants the evil whatever. So I told him I'm not actually in L.A. because I've had these things, from like Model Mayhem. That's how people find me, right? So people see my pictures, and occasionally, like every 3 or 4 months,